Last year?
No,
Massive grade?
I had like 21 last year. It was a lot. It's usually when you have to worry about dissection, it gets kind of hairy.
I'm gonna set up my phone for
Oh,
loads.
it's a full page syllabus.
Yeah, I tried to switch it into 1 or 2 on a page, but it just wasn't gonna do it. It's mainly from the objectives that we're gonna talk about.
Full page syllabus.
This does not fit in my binder.
We have a quiz on Monday.
You have a quiz on Monday.
Test on Thursday.
Okay.
Learn practical Friday.
So have y'all done lab 16? That's due tomorrow.
Yes.
Working on that, I hope.
We finished it.
Okay, as Maddie says, you have a quiz on Wednesday over the pectoral girdle, which includes what? Pectoral girdle and upper limb.
The appendages skeleton.
It's part of the
a part
appendacular
of it.
skeleton. What's going to be involved in it, though?
Joints.
Yeah.
Clavicle, scapula, humerus,
Humerus.
Ulna,
radius, ulna,
Ulna.
carpals, metacarpals, and phalanges.
And now we know.
And now you know.
Distal and proximal phalanges.
That's right.
So
Somebody's
that
been studying.
quiz is
That
just,
lab
is it gonna be like a diagram one, like the school one was?
Nope. it's
Or just a
not.
regular quiz, like on our
It's going to be
notes?
like a regular quiz, but it's
Okay.
going to be pretty easy in that you will have, believe it or not, a word bank.
Whoa!
What have we
You love us, Miss Williams.
Wait a minute, I think this is the one. I need to look, because I made up 2 over the weekend.
Yeah,
One
don't get
has
our
one
hopes
without.
up,
Word bank.
Please don't tell us there's a word bank when there is.
Okay,
That
I'll
would be
take
so
it back, I'll let you know
crushing.
tomorrow.
So is the quiz gonna be over all of our notes that we have right now, or is it gonna only be to a specific page for the quiz on Wednesday?
It will be actually through
I'm guessing not the foot, so.
page 7.
Oh, that's
Oh.
not bad. That's
Yeah.
like,
So right when you start talking
You
about
go to the
pelvic,
pelvic girdle is not part of it.
Okay, so no pelvic girdle.
so just
Got it.
to, it's like,
The phalanges.
The phalanges is the last thing.
it's like the arm
Yep.
and the hand.
Yeah,
Yes.
and the
pectoral.
And the
girdle.
girl.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, that's doable.
All right. So the humerus, late people call it the arm. It's also known as brachium in Latin. It is a long bone. Remember we talked about the anatomical neck being right below the head, right? Just like your neck's right below your head. And then we also mentioned the greater and lesser tubercles, which this would be this larger process right here, and the smaller one that's more medial is the lesser tubercle. And what runs between it?
The intervertebral
Tubular
crevice nerve. Give it.
groove.
Yes.
Groove.
Yeah,
One of
you'll get
them.
there. You'll get there.
I don't like
Okay.
this, but it's kinda
So
weird.
remember, the head has articular cartilage over it, which means that there is a joint there. And what does the head articulate with?
Manubrium. No.
the scapula. Wait, no, it's
The
the
what?
scapula. Clavicle. It's
What
the.
part of the scapula?
Oh, it's that.
A
It's,
chromium process. That?
no, that's part of the
Probably a process
clavicle.
thing.
It's that. It's like that space inside.
It's probably a fossa or something.
That's good.
It's always a
Oh my
fossa.
gosh.
I can't hear.
Ball and joint.
That's the type.
It is a ball and socket. joint.
Glenoid.
What is it?
The glenoid
The
fossa.
glenoid fossa. Yes. So y'all are gonna know that for the quiz, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming. Okay, so we talked about surgical neck, intravenous groove, and of course, anytime that you have a groove in a bone, typically there's going to be like a major tendon or something like that running in that area. Greater tubercle, the deltoid tuberosity. Okay, what do y'all know? What have y'all heard in A&P type lingo about deltoid?
It's a muscle.
It is a muscle. Where's it located?
On your back.
Back here, here.
Oh.
Y'all ever had a shot
Kidding,
in
it's
the
on
arm?
your arm. It's
I've
right
never
here.
heard of
Shot
a
in the
deltoid
arm.
tuberosity
The deltoid.
before.
Is it, what do you think the shape of it is? Delta.
A triangle.
A triangle.
That's what I thought it was on your back.
So it got its name because the triangular shape is deltoid. Okay. And one of its attachment sites is this little raised area right here. You can see right there. It's called the deltoid tuberosity. Now, anytime that you have a tuberosity, you're going to have some type of attachment. You know, whether it be a tendon, usually not a ligament, typically a tendon, okay? Alright, then you have your medial and lateral epicondyles. These, you can see it better up here. Is this the proximal or distal end?
Distal.
This
It is distal, because remember you have the head is the proximal, okay, now we have the distal. So you have your medial and your lateral epicondyles. And that's gonna be kind of a flattened, flared area there. And of course, anytime that you have that, you're gonna have attachment site for muscle up there also. We have our elbow joint coming up. This is gonna be fun.
Oh,
yeah.
so many bones.
Okay, now, you also have the ulnar nerve. Y'all heard of your funny bone, right? It's actually not a bone. It would be your ulnar nerve. The ulnar nerve actually passes over that medial epicondyle. And when you get hit there, it can actually cause numbness of the nerve and pain into the forearm. And it's called when you hit your funny bone.
Not very
This just
funny.
shows the ulnar nerve coming around here. It's your medial epicondyle jutting out, and it's very easy to hit it. Right here, as a matter of fact, I just hit it and I had a little tingling going on there. Okay, between those epicondyles, you have two articular surfaces. Now, this is if you're looking anteriorly at the bone. So this is one called the trochlea, and if you look, that one is, wouldn't you say that's kind of a, looks like a head, kind of an oval shape? Okay, so it is called the capitulum. Remember, capita or capitis refers to what?
Head.
If you get decapitated.
Oh.
There's your head.
Okay, so capitis refers to head, right? So capitulum is this one here that looks like, you know, to me, kind of almost like a face, kind of round, oval, like a head. This one, if y'all have ever looked at a pulley before, you have this little structure here that the rope would be tied around the middle here, right? And that is called the trochlea, okay, meaning referring to pulley. Okay, so the trochlea is medial, meaning more towards the middle. The capitulum is the little round head, is more lateral. Okay? So if you were looking at this, which arm is that?
You're right. You're left.
Okay, so the trochlea is
It's your
medial.
right arm. It's your right
Trochlea
arm.
is medial.
Or wait, is it my arm or my?
It's
I'm
right.
dyslexic. I don't know directions.
It's your left. Yeah. Now, that's one thing y'all have got to kind of get comfortable with before the practical, okay? Because when you say this is this bone, blah, 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 you're gonna have to say the left or the right,
Oh.
okay? And if you look at, if you like think about, like, if you, especially if you look at the head, where the head is placed, then you can definitely figure out this one's going towards the body. That would be medial versus lateral.
Wait,
But we'll
so
work
this
on
is
that.
a left one, right? You
Okay,
said that this was
so,
left?
so the trochlea, okay, if you're looking at it like this, the trochlea is the medial one. Okay, the capitulum is the lateral one,
More towards the
all right?
Yes.
So
But you said this one's a
if it
left
were
one.
right, it would have the capitulum being, medial.
I'm so upset.
You just, okay.
I just felt.
Oh. And no, we don't have that 10-second rule in here.
No, I'm not gonna use that.
Okay. Okay, now you also have another landmark called the coronoid fossa. Coronoid fossa. Fossa means
I like blue.
depression or indention, good. Now that's gonna be between the epicondyles, and that is actually a fossa. If you have a depression, usually it's going to accept something. What is one that we talked about in the past?
Mandibular fossa.
Mandibular fossa accepts the mandibular condyle, right? Okay, so there's a joint formed there. So this coronoid fossa actually accepts the coronoid process of the ulna, okay? So you see, this is anterior again. You see this big indention right here? This is the head of your ulna, and this little projection right here, the coronoid process, when the arm is flexed, fits into this depression, okay? Y'all see that? This actually fits into the back of the humerus. Go there in a minute. This rotates around the trochlea. And this is what will be embedded here when your arm is flexed. So, all right, so what is this?
The head.
Head of the,
Humerus.
okay. What is this right below it?
The surgical neck. Or no.
No, it's
The neck.
The neck.
The
Okay.
surgical neck is the
What is this?
greater,
tubercular.
greater tubercular,
Or
Tubercle.
tubercle,
Okay. What is this little,
that's the intertubercular groove.
what is that?
lesser
Lesser.
That's a
tubercle,
What is this area?
surgical neck,
Good. What is this?
Or deltoid.
Tuberosity.
tuberosity,
Okay. What is this flare? These two flared areas.
Good question. The medial and
lateral epicondyles
Okay. Medial. Which one?
is the
This
one on the
one?
inside
the
Oh,
inner one.
this one.
because
Yes.
medial is
Medial.
inside.
This is the lateral.
Lateral,
Okay. So if you look down here, you have a kind of a round process.
Mhm.
Okay,
Capitulum.
capitulum. And what is this one right here?
your
Trochlear.
Trochlea.
Trochlear. Like ear.
trochlea,
Okay.
trochlea,
All right. Now, right above the trochlea, you have a depression.
the coronoid fossa,
Fossa. Depression. Okay. So if you look, this bone, which is more what?
Medial.
Medial,
Mhm.
is the ulna. Okay. And you have a little process right here that when you flex the arm like that, it will fit into this little depression. So what is that called?
the coronoid process of the
Coronoid
ulna,
process, and this is called
the coronoid fossa.
yes. Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you have some others that we'll talk about, but in the back you also have another depression, and if you can see, you have kind of a C-shaped head of the ulna, and the lower part of the C fits up into the coronoid fossa, and we have another fossa here that we're about to talk about.
The olecranon,
Another anterior fossa you have is the radial fossa. So guess what articulates there?
Radius.
The
Radial head.
head. So the head of the radius, which is kind of a disc shape. Let me show you that. Right here. So that when you bend your arm, the head of the radius fits right here into the radial fossa. Okay? And then what is this again called? This is the
ulna,
ulna. What is this called?
the
Process.
Coronoid process. When you bend your arm, it fits it in this depression, the
Coronoid fossa.
coronoid fossa. Okay. This is the elbow. Kind of complex there, so, okay. Okay, so in the back of the humerus, or the posterior view, you have the olecranon. Can y'all say that?
olecranon,
Olecranon fossa, which means it's a
Depression.
depression. Okay, that is right here in the back, the olecranon fossa, and it accepts the olecranon process of the ulna when the arm is in what position?
What? Oh, no.
straight,
Straight.
Bended.
Think about in the back where the whole process is going to fit into this, so you'd have to have your arm straight. Right? So in the anterior, you have to be flexed, posterior, arm straight. Okay? The good thing is, by the time we get to the ulna, y'all have heard of a lot of these things. Okay, so let's talk about this one more time. What bone is this?
the humerus,
What are these?
the medial and lateral epicondyles.
Okay, so here's your medial, here's your lateral. What is this?
That is the
What is
capitulum,
this?
trochlea,
Trochlea.
Trochlea.
Okay. What is
Did you say
this?
trochlea?
Head.
Head of
The
the
radius.
Remember always, don't just say head.
Head of
Always
the
say one
radius.
thing. What is this?
The
Head of the
olecranon.
ulna.
Okay, but it's, that part of it is called the
Olecranon
olecranon
process.
Okay. What is this projecting up here?
That is the coronal process.
Okay, the coronoid process.
Ulna.
When your arm is flexed, what does the coronoid process fit into?
The coronoid, the coronoid fossa.
What does the head of the radius fit into?
The olecranon fossa.
Radial
Wait,
fossa.
right. Radial.
fossa. Yeah.
I thought you were asking what.
Yeah.
A
Auto.
lot going on here, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, we're not finished, but we'll
didn't think
go
we
back
were.
to that here in just a minute. So guys, your forearm, you have these two parallel bones, you're the radius and the ulna. The radius is always going to be on your thumb side. And remember, anatomical position, you always have your hands, what?
Facing forward, your
Palms
facing
out.
Palms
Okay,
forward.
palms forward. So your radius is always going to be medial or lateral?
Lateral.
Lateral.
Lateral, okay? Thumbs are always lateral, right? Okay. So moving on. The radius, lateral bone of the forearm, of course it's aligned with the thumb, and that's a good way to remember that is, if you've ever had your pulse taken, like in the doctor's office, they come through and right up under the thumb, they feel for your wrist pulse called the, anybody?
Radial pulse.
The radial pulse, yes, okay, right below the thumb. So you've already seen how the radius has kind of a disc-shaped, kind of a rounded disc-shaped head, and it articulates with the capitulum of the humerus, which just kind of rotates around that little round process there. The radial head also articulates with the radial notch of the ulna, and that forms the proximal, down here, radial ulnar joint. It's the radius and the ulna. The proximal radio-ulnar joint, where the head of the radius articulates with the radial notch of the ulna. So going back, I'll just do it here. No, I can't. Yes, I can. You have the head of the radius. You can see how it actually touches or articulates with the ulna. And there's a little indentation here, the radial notch. And that is where the head articulates. So if you think about where it's located, it actually allows you to make this movement. This little round head of the radius actually rotates around, okay? And we'll learn about what this is called. This is called supination. This is called pronation, okay? But that joint allows you to make those movements. Okay, let me see. Ah, wait a minute. Did I skip something?
Mm-mm.
Capitulum, radial notch, proximal. Where's the trochlear notch? I thought I had that. Nope. Okay, so it's
It's
back here
later.
somewhere.
It's on the ulna.
Oh, we haven't, that's right, we haven't gotten to the
It's
ulna
after
yet.
this,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. All right. So going back, what bone is this?
The radius.
Radius.
That's the
Ulna.
ulna.
Head of the radius.
Right there.
The
Radial notch.
Okay, well, this is a radial notch. What joint is that?
The
Proximal.
proximal radial ulnar joint.
Okay, you understand what's called proximal?
Because it's close to the point of the
Yes, because this
attachment.
is the
Distal.
distal, right? Okay, and we'll talk about this here in a minute. Once you put it all together, it makes more sense. Okay, I think y'all know those. Okay, the radial tuberosity. That's just kind of a rough area that actually makes an attachment site for the biceps brachii, or the biceps muscle of the forearm. So look right here, you can see kind of a bump. Yeah, you can see it there too on the left-hand side. So your biceps, remember, it's found right here, and it makes its attachment here. So this is the stationary part, and this is the mobile part. So when you flex your bicep, That's right. What happened?